I want to start a bit rough today. Hard work does not make you valuable. Scarcity does. And right now, thousands of agencies, good agencies, and very smart agencies are working harder than ever, delivering real results. Yet something strange is happening. Clients negotiate more, the pricing power drops, and the loyalty is just disappearing. And the deep down, they feel replaceable. So here's the uncomfortable question. If you are good, why are you still easy to replace? So today we are breaking the real reason agencies slowly become commodities and why effort often accelerates the problem and that silent shift that the powerful operators make to escape it completely. And somewhere in this conversation, you may realize the market was never judging your skill. It was judging your replaceability. Commoditization doesn't begin when you lose a client. It begins the moment a client feels safe comparing you, like I'm speaking with a few other agencies. That sentence sounds normal, harmless, and routine work. But structurally, it changes everything because now you are no longer unique. You are an option, and options compete on price. And here's the uncomfortable truth most operators avoid. You can be skilled, you can deliver results, you can even outperform competitors and still be replaceable because the market does not reward efforts, it rewards perceived irreplaceability. And once comparison becomes easy, pricing power begins to collapse quietly, not suddenly, but very slowly, gradually, like pressure leaking from a system. Here's where the most agencies, and it does apply to all the generic business models, make the situation even worse without realizing it. They respond with effort, more services, more responsiveness, more customization, more reporting, more value. They try to become better, but better is not different. And if you're not different, you are comparable. And comparable businesses live in competition always. They are like a commodity. They are chasing the clients and they always compete on price. Let me say something slightly uncomfortable. The harder you try to please everyone, the easier you become to replace because your business becomes predictable, understandable, and interchangeable. This is the invisible trap. You grow revenue, but you lose power. You gain clients, but you lose that leverage. You work more, but feel weaker. Not because competition is improved, but because you became comparable. All I want you to know is that scarcity creates power, not effort. The market does not reward who works hardest, it rewards who is the hardest to replace. Because weak operators ask, how do I become better? Strong operators ask, how do I become uncomparable? Because when comparison disappears, price pressure disappears, negotiation disappears, and the client control disappears. And then something subtle happens. You stop being a vendor and become an infrastructure. And infrastructure is not replaced casually. And commoditization is rarely loud. It happens quietly through three shifts. First is what I call the clarity without depth. Clients understand what you do, but not why you are different. When they can explain you easily, they can replace you easily. Second comes out to be the results without positioning. You produce outcomes, but you do not shape the perception. And perception, not performance, determines pricing power. Third is coming to be the effort without scarcity. You work harder each year, but remain interchangeable. More activity, same positioning. And here's a deeper layer more people miss. Commoditization is not about skill, it's about the architecture of perception. Two agencies can deliver identical results. One is constant constantly, and one is trusted instantly. Why? Because one builds scarcity, and the scarcity changes how the market treats you. So I hope you have got this by now that escaping commoditization is not about doing more. It's about shifting what you represent. There are the three structure moves. Move one I'll suggest to you is to move from service to perspective. Commodity agencies sell execution. Powerful agencies sell thinking. Execution can be corporate, but the perception cannot. When clients value how you think, you stop competing on what you do. Move to I want you to follow is from work to leverage. Commodity players sell effort, scarcity players sell advantage. When your presence changes the client's trajectory, you stop being optional. Move 3 Move 3 will be you have to go from provider to position. Weak agencies try to win deals. Strong agencies become the only logical choice. And once you become the default, competition becomes irrelevant. This is not branding. This is positioning power. So, if you had a client to replace you tomorrow, what would they actually lose? Execution, maybe some insights, work or leverage, maybe your activity or an advantage. If the answer is execution, I'm sorry to let you know you are replaceable. If the answer is leverage, you are properly positioned. And this is where most operators have a quiet realization. The market was never judging how hard you work, it was judging how difficult you are to replace. This conversation was never just about agencies, it was about the power. Effort creates income, scarcity creates control. Activity fills time, but positioning shapes outcomes, and the market protect what feels irreplaceable. The moment you stop trying to be better and start trying to be unreplaceable, the game changes. Competition fades, the pricing stabilizes, the leverage appears, not suddenly, but structurally. Now, here's the something worth thinking about. Are you building a business that works harder every year or one that becomes harder to replace every year? Because one survives through effort and the other one survives through power, through perception, through perceived value. And once you understand the difference, you stop competing forever.